Welcome into Farmington High School for KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of high school football. We've got the Orem Tigers facing the Farmington Phoenix. Trevor Allen alongside. I decided on the eve of BYU football's opener, I decided to bring in KSL Sports Insider, BYU Insider, Mitch Harper. And Mitch, we've got a great matchup tonight. Two teams, one of them's 0-2, but coming off of a really good performance against Bountiful last week in Farmington, taking on a team who is probably going to be a contender in 5A in the Orem Tigers.
Yeah, Orem Tigers 2-0 this season, and last year, the first season under Lance Reynolds was a little bit of a dip from the standard that you've grown to expect from Orem High School. They are back to form. They've got so much star power. They are an explosive team, and it all starts with Coway Akana, wide receiver, 6'3", 195-pound junior. He's one of the best wide receivers out west. You're going to get a full taste of him. That's going to be a big challenge for Farmington in this game, as Farmington's looking to find their identity a bit and finish drives. There were moments last week against Bountiful where they started out strong and they were very competitive, but they couldn't finish the job. Now you got the star power of Orem up against a team looking to find its identity. It's an intriguing matchup, and it makes for one that should be entertaining tonight here on KSLSports.com.
Now for Farmington, they've actually got a new quarterback this year in Will Peterson. Talk about that kid a little bit.
Yeah, Will Peterson, he's only in his third varsity game ever. And, Farmington, just 2 years ago, they were a semifinal team in high school football. And last year was a tough year. But this is a team that's young. He's got talent. And Will Peterson's someone that is a dynamic athlete. He's incredibly strong. He's one of the strongest players in the Farmington program that prides itself in the weight room. They've worked a ton. There's so many kids on this roster that have personal records and squats and bench presses. But Will Peterson's a talented football player, and he's going up against an Orem defense that has a lot of speed too, and they've got high-end college prospects. So if they can find success in this game, that could bode well for them. I mean, they got to keep this competitive, and for Orem, this is the beginning of a 4-game road trip. You don't see that very often in Utah high school football schedules where you're going 4 straight weeks on the road. They want to play a full, complete 60 minutes and kind of set the tone early in this game.
All right, Mitch, what are your keys to the game for both Farmington and Orem as we get into this game tonight?
For Orem, it's continue to find the playmakers. Coway Akana, I mentioned him, but you also have Faleti Iongi, who's dynamic on the ground, but also 200-plus yards receiving, too. And the versatility of this team, they got players that can do a lot of different things. Continue to find the playmakers, first off, for Orem. But for Farmington, it's got to take care of the football. You think about 2 weeks ago when they're going up against Roy, they had some success early, but then costly mistakes in special teams. And then they find themselves down at 21-0. Finish the job, finish drives. That's going to be key for Dan Coates' team. He's in his 7th year. And, Coates has built up a program that's, they know they can win. But this is a young group, though, and they're trying to still find themselves, so finishing drives will be key for them early on.
Farmington was a team in 2022 that went to the 6A state semifinals at Rice-Eccles Stadium, wasn't able to get the job done. And right now, Coach Coates is just trying to build this team back up. As you mentioned, they don't have Easton White anymore at quarterback, going over to Will Peterson, but they've also got a plethora of running backs.
They do, and this is a fun matchup too, because the two coaches, they were talking in the pregame. Dan Coates of Farmington, Lance Reynolds Jr. at Orem. They've got a history together. They played at BYU. Great relationship between these two teams, but this is a good matchup. And the Farmington running backs, this team, they've got talent in the backfield with Will Peterson at quarterback, and then Travis Hoops. He's so versatile. He had an 80-yard kick return for a touchdown a couple weeks ago. So they got to utilize that versatility in the backfield. But they are a much smaller football team than Orem. So does the size of Orem overwhelm Farmington early? It's going to be key for Farmington to have some success in these opening drives to really keep their confidence up and their belief that they can compete for a full game with Orem.
So as we get ready to go here on KSLSports.com and KSL Sports Rewind, the Rewind Sports Network, Orem will be in the road white, and you've got Farmington in the home black with teal, and it looks like Orem's going to be kicking off. Farmington will receive. They will go left to right as you watch it here on KSLSports.com. Glad to have you with us as we go into Labor Day weekend, opening of college football. but we're also week 3 of high school football. We're ready to go here. Trevor Allen, Mitch Harper along with you here tonight. A great night for football, Mitch. A slight breeze going to the east, but a picturesque night for football.
Yeah, great setting here in Farmington, and the hospitality here at Farmington's been great, and now let's see a great football game between these two teams that don't play very often, but there's obviously a lot of crossover between the coaching staffs.
You mentioned the weapons that Orem has. Kawe Akana, he's also the kicker.
Yeah.
And he will be kicking this one off. And it looks like referee had to get involved a little bit. Oh, we might have a wardrobe penalty. Something they're doing, Mitch, is cutting down on the wardrobe, like the excess stuff. So he's actually not going to kick it. That's going to belong to. That's going to be Faleti Iongi, the running back. So not only is the running back and the wide receiver are both weapons for the Orem Tigers.
It's a really good kick too.
And it'll go to Fia. He'll get it over to the 25, and he's picked up and taken down at the 30. Great return right there by number 9, Afu Fia.
Afu Fia, son of David Fia. That story of Afu is remarkable, and his comeback story, coming back from cancer. Impressive return there.
And it looks like we have an Orem player down. I'm wondering if it was the one who put Fia on his shoulders on that tackle. I think I saw number 15 on that.
Yeah, that was Matt Christiansen.
And the Farmington student section's right below us, Mitch, and they're all pumped up and ready to go.
They are. There's good energy here. I mean, we got here a couple hours before kick, and there was tailgating already in the parking lot. These people, even though it's 0-2 start for Farmington, there's a lot of pride in this community, and they want to see this thing get right for Farmington, and a lot of energy here today.
All right, so as they still attend to the player down on the field, we'll look at this Orem defense. Kawe Akana's not only can he make plays on offense, he can also do it on the defensive side of the ball too.
He definitely can, and Kawe Akana, he's one of only 5 players that was invited to the Polynesian Bowl for the 2026 game. He's an incredible talent. I mean, we know that he's the kicker. He's a wide receiver, does things on defense as well. He is an explosive athlete, and you don't want to make the comparison to Puka Nakua, but there are some flashes of Puka-like with Kawe Akana when you see his versatility and his talent, and him at the strong safety spot. He's the backup strong safety for the Tigers, but you'll see him out there on the game today.
It looks like Matt Christiansen was able to walk off on his own power, so that's good to see. As the Farmington Phoenix start at their own 30-yard line with Peterson in the pistol. Takes the snap. He'll hand off to Hoops. Hoops will get maybe two yards, maybe 1 on that carry. Pretty good stout defense there for Orem.
Definitely Stout's defense. And, Orem's got a complex scheme. They throw a lot at these kids, and it's a pretty young football team, this Orem squad. And you kind of saw that was a decent push in the early going from Farmington, who doesn't have the size. I mean, you see the difference there in the size between the two teams. A decent start beginning for Farmington.
As we go here, it was 2nd and 10, so they actually call it. Oh, excuse me, 2nd and 8. They did update it. Ball at the 32, so it's a gain of 2. Here's Peterson. He'll go a quick out route to number 81. That's Cooper Lopez. That'll get the Phoenix, basically, that was for no gain. So it'll bring 3rd down and 8 coming up here.
Nice play on the tackle by Easton Finch from Orem. Right there, the moment that completion was made, and makes the tackle, so there's no gain on the play, and opportunity for a 3-and-out right away for Orem.
So a big 3rd down here. Something that Coach Coates was talking about is finishing drives, and you don't want to start this game with 3-and-out. And now here's Peterson. He'll flush out of the pocket. He's going to run now. He's going to throw it deep. He's got Fia wide open. He'll get to the 30, down to the 20, and he's taken down at about the 11-yard line by number 19. That is Melosi Iloa, but what a play coming out of the pocket and then throwing on the run.
Facing pressure against Orem's defensive front that immediately brings the pressure. Will Peterson sits there, makes a play downfield. Huge gain for Farmington. Brings some energy, some life to the underdog. They got some fight in this one.
So going from third down deep in your own territory, you're now in the red zone. 1st and 10, ball at the 11-yard line for the Phoenix. In the pistol once again is Peterson. He'll hand off to Hoops. And he'll get probably a yard, maybe 2. He might have been able to extend for another yard right there on that carry. But pretty good to just get a couple of yards as you get into the red zone.
Riker Mickelson on the tackle for Orem, number 4. He's one to keep an eye on for the Tigers. He's a playmaker, dual sport athlete, played basketball also for Orem. He was part of Section 7 that took down Sierra Canyon and Bryce James and that team this summer out in Arizona.
And Riker, the reason why he transferred to Orem was to play basketball. So that, for me, that's actually great to see. I love some hoops. But here's Will Peterson. Play action, he'll find Afu Fiafia in the end zone. Touchdown, Phoenix! Afu Fiafia gets the big chunk play, and then he finds the end zone.
Great route, Afu Fiafia on the slant, and Peterson decisive. You're seeing the growth already in Peterson, and it's only his 3rd varsity game. This kid's made a lot of leaps from a couple weeks ago, his 1st varsity game. You're seeing that growth. He's an athlete, and we saw that when talking with Coach Coates, getting ready for this game. He's a playmaker, and instantly right there.
And the PAT is up and good by Jackson Bainan. So just like that, Mitch, one drive down, 70-yard touchdown, at least on that drive. But it finishes. It starts with Afu Fiafia. Ends with Afu Fiafia in the end zone.
Yeah, and it started too with the kick return with Fiafia. Got him in a decent field position. Explosive playmaking ability. When you come into a game as an underdog, you have to have explosive playmaking ability, and you got to get it from your stars. And that drive was key because there is now belief in this team, the energy. We're in some of the student section chanting over it. I wouldn't say that too soon here, but that was a decisive, complete drive, and Peterson was impressive on those throws.
So with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left, Farmington has a 7-0 lead to open up this ball game. And Mitch, the reason why the overrated chants are in there in the KSL Sports Rewind Top 25, Orem's number 6.
Yeah, and this is going to, Afu Fiafia too, going back to him, that touchdown grab. His story again is remarkable. He had cancer in 2021, son to a Utah high school football great, and David Fiafia, who's up at Weber State. Just love to see success stories like that for Afu Fiafia.
And Bainan's going to kick off. And Akana is going to let it go into the back of the end zone for a touchback. So now it'll be the first time we will see quarterback Tayden Kaava. And, talking to Coach Reynolds prior to the game, he's really liked what he's seen from his quarterback so far.
71% completion rate through 2 weeks, and that win last week against American Fork, typically Orem against 6A teams, when they get down, they're down and out. And they battled back, and Tayden Kaava is a quarterback with offers to Boston College, Hawaii, Oregon, BYU, of course, so impressive talent. He's got all the measurables.
All right, Kaava's in the gun. He'll roll out to his right. He'll find his guy Akana. Kawe Akana, he'll get up to about the 29, probably 30, they'll mark him. So a good chunk play there.
You can see the chemistry that they have already on the field. Instantly looks for Kawe Akana. Those two, we're probably going to hear a lot of them tonight.
So that'll give a first down right on the very first play. And Akana, Mitch, we'll get into some of the programs around the country that are already looking at him. And he's only a junior, so another year of Kawe Akana here at Orem High School. Split backs is now he'll hand it off to Iongi, and he'll pick up probably, I'll give him 3 yards on that carry. Pretty nice for. You got to look at this Orem team. Yeah, they're young, but they have a lot of weapons.
Faleti Iongi is the veteran too. He's a senior. Got an offer from Utah State, and we talked about it earlier. I mean, he can do a lot of different things. He's kind of the heart and soul of this team. He can do it on the ground. He's a good receiver too. 200-plus yards in both areas already through the first 2 weeks, and picks up a nice gain 3.
All right, Tayden Kaava is back in the gun again. He's got it back to the right. He's got 2 wide to the left and 1 at the top of your screen. quick pitch and catch out to number 12. Probably get back to the line of scrimmage, but they call it an incomplete pass. And that was to Jackson Sanders. So 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Tigers.
Curious to see, too, tonight how Farmington stacks up against this young Orem offensive line. Orem's got a pair of freshman tackles.
That was crazy to think.
They're 9th graders, and they are huge.
They are big boys.
So I'm curious to see that matchup in the trenches tonight, because Orem's got the size advantage there here in the trenches.
Well, the Farmington student section shaking our press box right now. We're on the roof. Well, with 7:39 to go, it's 3rd and 7 for Orem. Farmington was in a similar spot on their first drive and turned into a chunk play. We'll see what Orem can do here. Farmington's got a very good defense. They showed very well against a bountiful team in our Game Night Live Game of the Week last week that went to the 5A championship game. Here's Kava. He'll drop back. Oh, he'll pump. Now he'll go out of the pocket. As he's falling, he tries to throw to his receiver. It goes incomplete, and that was to number 5, Kai Wesley. And that'll force Orem to punt.
Good pressure from the Farmington defensive front. Maxwell Racker getting in there, number 78. So they get a stop. And again, that is going to be key for this Farmington team to, Coach Dan Coates wanted to come into this game and continue to make progress. He likes the personnel he's got. It's just kind of finishing things off. You're in a 3rd and 7, get off the field. They finished the job.
And the punt is Akana, and that's a pretty good ball. Hoops has it at about the 27. A flag is on the ground, and he's taken down at about the 29. We'll see what the penalty flag is, as Farmington's about ready to come out for their second drive of the game.
Travis Hoops is one to keep an eye on for Farmington. Number 8 had an 80-yard punt return against Roy in week 1. He's also got 14 tackles, 10 catches for 80 yards. Again, he's an impact player. They use him in so many different ways. Kind of curious to see what Coates and his staff dial up and how they can maybe utilize him on this drive.
Something that is of great benefit for Farmington is you've got a former collegiate football player in Daniel Coates, who's your head coach. He's also the offensive coordinator. Here's Peterson. Once again, pistol formation. He's got one wide up top and trips to the right. He'll hand it off. Oh, he's going to keep it on the keeper, and he'll gain about 6 yards. Gain of 7 they'll give him.
You see that 4.6 speed a little bit. I mean, he's got a reported 4.640, Will Peterson does, and they go with a little bit of RPO action, and he takes off and gets an 8-yard gain. I mean, you get in a 2nd and manageable, that's a great spot for this Farmington offense.
Once again, operating out of the pistol, trips to the left, and one wide receiver down at the bottom of your screen. Peterson takes the snap, drops back. He'll throw it. He's got a man. That's number 0. Where is that? I'm not showing a number 0.
Orem in the interior with Make Apo, number 50. He is a huge lineman in the interior for Orem, and Farmington, to their credit, double teamed, kind of stonewalled him there at the line of scrimmage, keeping the protection and doing everything they can in the trenches to keep Orem on their heels.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 44-yard line, 6:20 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 lead for Farmington as the tight end goes in motion. He'll now hand off to Hoops. He'll go to the outside. He gets to the 45, about to the 47-yard line before he's brought down by a trio of Tigers.
Nice pace by Hoops, not letting the game speed him up and the opponent. There's a good feeling with this Farmington team right now. They're playing calm and collected, and they're not kind of forcing the issue. They came in and they're playing the way that their game plan and not getting sped up. That was nice pace by Hoops, keep getting a few extra yards to get upfield.
So it's a gain of 4 at the 48-yard line, 2nd and 6, almost to midfield. Once again out of the pistol, trips to the top. Is Peterson. He's going to change the call a little bit. He'll now drop back, screen pass, and it's dropped. Intended for number 1. That's Gavin Burton.
sun was in his eyes a little bit too.
Yeah.
You could wonder if that kind of was a factor there, because it was tough to see. The sun was blinding, and that probably just got lost in the sun for Burton. Now it sets up a third, and it's still somewhat manageable, but you're a little bit behind the sticks now.
Probably, I mean, he was maybe 3 yards behind the top part of where we are, to where the shade's coming in, so he just missed it. But probably around this time next quarter, he won't have that issue. Now 3rd and 6. Once again, Peterson in the pistol. Drops back. He's flushed out of the pocket to his left, being chased. He's going to use his legs. He'll get to the 50, and he'll get out of bounds. And probably not good enough for, it won't be good enough for a first down, but what would you do here if you're Coach Coates?
You got to punt. You got to maintain the lead and try to pin them deep and put Orem in where they're backed up against their own end zone and try to pin them deep.
Jackson Bainan is back to punt for this one, and they actually spotted him at their own 49, so gain of 1. And back to receive. I think that's Yongi, and he's going to call a fair catch at the 11-yard line. So with 5:10 to go, Farmington has a 7-0 lead. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second timeout and be back with more here on KSL Sports Rewind.
This is apple cider vinegar from NutriCost. This is apple cider vinegar from another leading brand. NutriCost has 500 milligrams of apple cider vinegar. So does this other brand. NutriCost is third-party tested, non-GMO, and gluten-free. This other brand, well, we're not.
Here's Kava. He'll hand it off to Yongi. As we're back to live action, he'll pick up it looks like about 1 yard. Actually, it doesn't even look like a gain. I don't think he got past the 11.
Good pursuit from Farmington. You got a whole pursuit of defenders going at him. I mean, that's what they've got to do. It can't just be one guy. When you're a little bit undersized team, you got to have 3-4 guys coming at these bigger bodies. So nice job by the Farmington defense.
So they actually give him 2 yards at the 13. Here's Kava once again. He's got Yongi to his right. He'll drop back. He'll fire. And he doesn't have a Yongi. Yongi was actually the intended target. And it looks like they're going to get him for a pass interference on number 25. That's Carson Cook.
Just a little bit early by Carson Cook. It was the right move, but just a tad early. And so that was the right call, the pass interference there on Farmington.
So that is going to so that's going to be a 15-yard penalty. Although the officials are talking about it still. I don't know what there's to talk about. That was pretty obvious. Yep, pass interference. So that'll spot the ball at the 28-yard line.
Pass interference on Farmington, results in a first down for Orem. Again, students, we've got a phone turned in at the booth. If you're missing your phone, please send to the booth.
Now here's Taden Kava. Once again. He's got trips to the left. 3 wide. He'll drop back. And he'll fire downfield. He's looking for Akana. And he's got it. Oh, he had the ball in his hands. And then it went out as soon as he hit the ground.
Great ball by Akava, and Kawe Akana, you're seeing that versatility where he can stretch the field, but you got to complete the ball. And we talked, in the pregame about how the key of the game, they got to have a complete 48 minutes, and so far they're kind of slow start again. Last week, Orem did that against American Fork. They responded in the second half, but another slow start again for them. I got to imagine Coach Reynolds isn't happy with the slow start thus far.
So split backs in the gun. He'll hand off to Yongi. He'll get forward a little bit. We'll probably give him about 4 yards.
Really like Yongi. He's got offers from Utah State, Utah Tech. He's probably getting a little bit knocked in terms of the size, but he is just a productive back, number 160 on the 24/7 sports rankings as far as running backs go. He's a guy to me that I feel like is going to have an opportunity. He's going to stick in a college program. You got to sometimes look beyond the measurables. You can't just get focused solely on that because he's a talented football player. He's got a lot of ability.
All right, split backs once again. 2 wide down, 1 to the top. Puts 1 out in motion. He fires out and overthrows the intended receiver. That's number 26, Beckham Curtis.
A little bit overthrown, and that was a ball where even if he catches it, there were Farmington defenders in pursuit, so you don't even know if it would have reached the sticks. So Farmington defense steps up again and gets another spot with Orem in their own territory.
So that'll now force Orem to punt once again at their own 31-yard line. Kawe Akana back to punt. And it drops a little bit, almost blocked. But it looks like Travis Hoops and Afu Fia let it go, and it's going to roll. And they're going to spot the ball at about the 27-yard line.
Farmington special teams was very close to the ball on that bounce. You're like, you got to get away from that thing. But Will Peterson and this team get set up and see if they can move down the field once again.
So, Mitch, what have you seen so far from both teams as we're, with 3:27 left here in the first quarter? It looks like a lot of the momentum's on Farmington's side.
No question, and you're seeing a Farmington team that continues to have belief with every passing down. And, Orem coming out of the gates a little bit slow, and their talent is off the charts. Like Orem's getting, and the thing is about Orem is that they've got a lot of underclassmen, so there's still kind of a feeling out about being the every down guys, the key personnel every single down. But Farmington's gaining that belief, and I like what they're doing as far as protection for Will Peterson in the trenches.
And now Peterson comes out with a back behind him. I believe it's Travis Hoops, and he's going to hand off to Hoops, and he'll gain probably a yard on that play. So just a quick little try to establish the run game a little bit, but didn't get much there as that is a stout defensive line for Orem.
Love Mickelson. Riker Mickelson is someone that he was very active in the summer camp scene. He was at BYU's camp. He's got an offer from Utah State. He's going to be a player to watch for at the next level. He is just racking up tackles this season for Orem.
So 2nd down and 9. Ball at the 38-yard line. And it looks like a false start. Or maybe offsides. Let's see. False start on the offense. And that's something you don't want to see, especially deep in your own territory when you got a lot of momentum on your side.
Yeah, it's not those are the things you got to avoid. The administrative penalties where you're self-inflicted wounds, you got to take care of that. When you're an underdog, you cannot afford to ever be in that spot. So it puts you now in a situation where you're behind the sticks, and now you got to try to get that back.
They haven't fixed the down and distance yet to put the penalty on there.
Should be 2nd and 14.
Yeah, 2nd and 14. Here's Peterson back. He's getting rushed. It looks like a screenplay. It's going to go to Lucas Peterson, the running back, and he'll get to about the 39-yard line. So you're basically getting back to the original line, almost the original line of scrimmage.
Lucas Peterson's another one of those Farmington kids with some big-time numbers in the weight room. Personal record, a clean 305 pounds. He is a strong back out of the backfield, and that was a nice play to get a little bit, half of that yardage. Now sets up a little bit of a 3rd and long, but 3rd and 7, maybe a lot better than being at 14 yards away.
They marked him at the 40 as the clock's running with 1:50 to go here in the first quarter. We got a good one here, as it looks like. Brings Hoops in motion. Here's Peterson back. He'll roll out to the right. He'll look downfield, and now he's just going to take it himself to about the 43-yard line. Now they're going to mark him out the 44. That'll be a gain of 4. But obviously will not be enough.
And you like that decision from Peterson. Live to kick. Don't force the issue. Don't create an unnecessary pass where there's nothing there. Go out of bounds, run out, and live for another day. Finish your drives with a kick. And that's going to be a key for Farmington is don't have turnovers, don't make costly mistakes, because coming into this game, Peterson had 1 touchdown to 4 INTs. He took care of the ball there.
And now they're back to punt once again. And Iongi is going to let it go as it rolls down to, that was actually a pretty kind bounce. It's going to go to about the 7, maybe the 6-yard line. Either way, that was a pretty good punt right there for Jackson Bainan.
Farmington's winning the field of position battle right now. They're winning that side of the game. And when you're putting teams, 90 plus yards away from a score, odds are it's going to be hard every single drive to go that length of the field to score points. So nice work by Farmington special teams to pin Orem.
So here comes the Orem offense with split backs. Sends a man in motion. And it looks like we got a false start. Getting a little anxious down there, Mitch, especially when you're pinned back deep.
Well, this is where, when you're a young football team like Orem, and the complexities that Orem throws at their players with their playbook, sometimes like you can get a little unsettling. Remember, this is the first road game for Orem too. First of a 4-week stretch where they are away from home, and when you're down at home, you feel like, okay, you got the crowd behind you. You can come back like they did last week against American Fork. It's a different environment when there's kind of an energetic crowd like we're seeing tonight here in Farmington.
All right, now back at it looks like the 4-yard line. Sends Iongi in motion. He'll hand off to number 12, and that's Jackson Sanders.
It's good pursuit by the Farmington defense, coming downhill and making a play and stopping them at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like they're making a sub at offensive line as well. Orem is. But now that brings up 2nd and 13 at their own 4, so that was a no gain right there. So Beckham Curtis is back with Kava. He's got 3 wide receivers to his left and 1 to the right. He'll drop back. He's flushed out of the pocket, deep in his own territory. He throws it. They're throwing a flag. I think he was down first. Did it look like his knee was down in the end zone before he threw the ball?
It did. It was close, but the flag could be an intentional grounding potentially because he wasn't outside the tackle box. So we'll see, but great pursuit by Farmington. Jet Selman, who has been a playmaker at that will linebacker spot for the Phoenix the past 2 weeks.
And it looks like they're going to be picking up the flag, but they're calling it a safety. They're saying he was down before he threw the ball, which I agree with that call.
Jet Selman making the play. This Farmington team believes, Trevor, and they've now got a 2-possession lead, and the underdog is gaining momentum.
But if I'm Coach Coates in Farmington, I'm not satisfied with this, because if they watched any of the film against American Fork last week, the same thing could happen this week. Well, come back in the second half.
No question, but Farmington, they're playing fast too, and they're the quicker team. Like, they might not have the size, we've talked about that, but they are the faster football team as we near the end of the first quarter, 40 seconds left. But Farmington is playing with a lot of energy coming back. They made significant strides from week 1 to week 2 last week in that close loss to Bountiful on the road. They've come back home and they're playing quick tonight.
The crazy thing about that game against Bountiful, that was supposed to be a neutral site game at Weber State, but because of the work that's being done at Stewart Stadium before Weber State season, the field wasn't going to be ready in time. So then they went and did the game at Bountiful, and that was the Game Night Live game of the week that you saw here on KSLSports.com. So now back to kickoff after the safety is Kawe Akana with 40 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. 9-0 in favor of the Phoenix. And it's away. And it looks like Hoops bobbles it. Or excuse me, that is a Hoops. That's Fia, and he's going to get to the 45. He's breaking free. There is a flag on the play, but he's going to get down to about the 34-yard line. There is a flag, so I'm guessing that that's probably coming back a little bit.
Yeah, flag around the 39-yard line, potentially a block in the back. It looks like Coach Coates kind of signaling his team to come back.
Yep, it is a holding call. Although that was still a really good return from Fia. He's been kind of the quiet guy who, I mean, he had a great first drive, and then it's just kind of been the battle of both defenses playing really well.
Well, and it shows the importance of the third phase of the game in special teams and the momentum that you can continue to build off of in the return game. Orem's got to step up, and they have got to respond here because you're down, and that is not the type of response you want to see when you're letting a big run break off. Now, Farmington had the hold, but still, what's the fight? Where's the resilience from Orem? Are they going to show that here on this next drive? That's going to be a big thing to see here as they near the end of the first quarter.
30 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. The ball is brought all the way back to their own 30-yard line. 10 seconds on the play clock. Peterson in the pistol once again brings a man in motion. He'll hand it off to Hoops. And he'll lose some yards, probably lose 1 yard as we near the end of the quarter.
And that's the type of pursuit and intensity you wanted to see if the response from Orem. That defense, A.J. Snow, number 10 for Orem, in on the tackle, and he's one of the better edge rushers. 3.5 sacks coming into this game this week. So that was a positive sign of response, like, hey, enough's enough. They gotta battle back.
And that is the end of the first quarter. So through 9-0, Farmington with the lead. We'll be back with second quarter action here on KSLSports.com. Back to Farmington High School. 9-0, the Phoenix lead here in the second quarter. Trevor Allen and Mitch Harper here with you. And Mitch, what have you seen so far of what you've liked from both teams here through one quarter?
I really liked what I've seen from Farmington's Will Peterson, and 6'1", 190, junior quarterback, only in his third game as a varsity signal caller, and I just feel like he's decisive. He's in command of the offense. This team has been prepared for this game against Orem. It's a non-region matchup, of course, but they are dialed into the scout and preparation. They just feel like they're playing at a great pace, and there's really playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Well, we'll get to their schedule here in just a minute as Peterson will send Hoops in motion. He's got Lucas Peterson out in the flat. He'll get it to him. He'll come up to about the 30-yard line. Gain of about 1. It was third and 11. It was 3rd and 11 to start. So he'll go back to the original line of scrimmage it'll be 3rd and 10 now.
Nice grab by Peterson. I mean, it was a little bit behind him. It could have been a loss of yards, so he still gets him back to at least the line of scrimmage to keep it a no gain, because that could have been a loss had that got behind him, and it could have been potentially a live ball. So that was a nice, underrated, nice grab by Peterson to haul that in.
So 3rd and 10, ball at their own 30 as we get going here in the start of the second quarter. 9-0 Farmington as Hoops goes in motion. Peterson drops back. He's under pressure. He's just going to throw it away. And I think he was outside of the tackle box enough to where that wouldn't be intentional grounding. So that'll be 4th down. And the Phoenix are forced to punt, although the flag just came out. They are calling intentional grounding. Which it doesn't matter. You're just going to be punting farther back.
Great pursuit by Calvin Gardner, junior defensive lineman, 6'1", 240, great size from Orem. He was in pursuit there to create the pressure and make Peterson uneasy, because up until this point, Peterson has kind of been in control. He hasn't faced much pressure other than the big play in the first quarter that set up the touchdown drive. Orem hasn't got much in the backfield, so that was nice pressure by Gardner to be in pursuit.
Something I wanted to bring up, Mitch, as the punt team comes out. Coach Coates was saying that he doesn't like to schedule cupcakes in their non-region, and started out against Roy. It was at home, lost 38-14, and then they went to Bountiful, lost by 5, and then they play Orem, and then next week they play Corner Canyon.
They got a 3-week stretch of top 10 opponents in the state, so it's a gauntlet right now.
And one
for
of them's
Farmington.
nationally ranked. And Yongi is going to call a fair catch. He drops it. Number 2 from Farmington picks it up, and now he's tackled. That was David Shepard. And now Farmington, it's all flipped once again. They'll take over inside the 10-yard line.
Special teams, it was an issue for Orem last week against American Fork. That phase of the game has continued to be a thorn in the side for the Tigers. It reared its ugly face again as Yongi muffs the punt, and Farmington in business now in the red zone.
Great job by David Shepard. Great awareness to know it's all right. He bobbled it. I got to go get it. And so it's actually not inside the 10 because it's actually where it's spotted, right? So,
yeah,
he
couldn't advance the ball once he got it. But, you know, if you're Coach Coates in this Farmington team, take a shot right at the end zone. Right now, get the momentum, go for the end zone.
So ball is at the 18-yard line. And I'm wondering if, Coach Coates, he wants a timeout. We'll actually keep it right here. Mitch, as you mentioned, taking a shot right here. Who's some of the guys you want to go to? They already went to Afu Fia for that first touchdown in the opening drive of the game.
Well, you'd like to see Travis Hoops, too, a little bit more involved. You know, he's shown some glimpses in the special teams. He'd be someone I would be targeting. Tanner Nilsson as well, the ex-wide receiver for Farmington. But, you know, just it feels like you can't settle for a field goal here in this spot. You know, you've got to punch it in and capitalize and get a touchdown here. And what a golden opportunity for this team to continue to build on this momentum. And they're playing good football, too. And what they're doing in the trenches and on the perimeter, I mean, they're playing physical, they're playing fast. This Farmington team's showing up in a big way tonight.
Man, it's starting to really be a beautiful night. I mean, there's hardly any breeze right now. It's gonna be a great night for football, Mitch. As we're not even at halftime yet, and I think we've got a great ball game ahead of us.
Yeah, it's a good ball game tonight, and it's just another night in Utah high school football. Great talent here across the state.
All right, here's Peterson. He'll bring a man in motion. He'll drop back. He's gonna flip out to Travis Hoops. He's got a bunch of guys. He's slipping through. Gets to about the 16-yard line, 17-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 17. Gain of 1 yard.
I've been gushing about him a lot, but Riker Mickelson just plays with a violence that you love to see in football players, and he has just been a playmaker. He's one of the guys on Orem's defense that he has shown up, but they need more than just Riker Mickelson on that Orem defense right now.
And Riker transferring from Pleasant Grove, he joined Orem because he wanted to play basketball. And that's a great program down there at Orem as well. Here's Peterson. He'll play action. Now he'll run up. He's gonna take it himself. He'll get to about the. They're marking him at the 11. So that'll be a gain of 6. So that'll be about 3rd and 2. 3rd down and 4.
Nice decision again. You don't want to take unnecessary hits because you know he's listed at 190, but it looks a little light. He's still working his way, building himself up, but don't take an unnecessary hit. Get out of bounds and play to the next down.
Something that I've been really impressed with, especially with the young quarterback, he's just being smart with the football right now.
He is.
So the Petersons are in the backfield. Will Peterson, he'll throw an out route to Hoops, and it goes incomplete. Just overthrows him just by a smidge. And it'll be 4th and 3 coming up.
That's where the accuracy with Peterson's got to improve. And with more snaps and more opportunities at the varsity level, you're going to see that. But that's a ball you got to hit. And again, I kind of felt like Farmington should have took a shot in the end zone. Mickelson was right there in coverage. That wasn't going to have any gain if it was caught. But that ball was just a little bit inaccurate right there on that throw. So he's got to tighten that up. Peterson does.
Jackson Bainan now back to kick a field goal. And it is up, and it is good. So tack on 3 more points with 10:01 to go. Farmington now has a 12-0 lead. Mitch, I would say we probably didn't see this coming, if just at least looking on paper, seeing the matchup with Orem being a 5A state title contender against Farmington, who's still trying to build a young roster, you probably didn't see a safety and field goal and touchdown coming right out of the gates.
Well, not necessarily us. I mean, I think there's a good crowd here tonight, but I think even the Farmington faithful thought, like, let's keep it competitive here, and to be up 12-0, it's still like a missed opportunity to that field goal. You got to, like, Orem in that spot to be having Farmington start in the red zone. That's kind of a little bit of a win for Orem. How does Orem now build on that? Getting a stop, holding them to a field goal. Let's see what the high-powered Orem offense does in response.
If I'm Orem, that is a win, because a touchdown.
Definitely.
A touchdown would end up putting you. That would be potentially 3 possessions unless you do 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions.
Well, when you face a disastrous mistake like that one on the kick or the punt, you want those little wins like that. Like holding them to a field goal is a nice little win.
Here we go. Bainan now kicks it off to Yongi. Both of them went in there to catch it. Now they bobbled it. But Kawe Akana, it looks like Yongi and Kawe Akana were not on the same page there as they downed the ball at the 22-yard line.
They have got to clean things up. Patrick Bryant, the special teams coordinator for Orem, they've got to tighten that up because that is going to cost them ball games. You can be the most talented team in the state, and look, Orem's up there in terms of talent, in terms of next level talent. This is one of the better football teams from a personnel standpoint, but those mistakes are costly, and you can't have that. You got to tighten that up.
People say that special teams doesn't matter in football. This is an example that it does matter.
We are seeing that tonight.
All right, here's Kava in the gun, 5 wide. He'll go out. He's got his man right up the middle. That's number 9, Oliver Bills. And now he's down in Farmington territory. That was a big chunk play, something Orem needed big time.
Yeah, that's the first explosive play we've seen from Orem tonight. And now they move into Farmington territory. And again, the momentum that was gained from getting a stop on the defensive side, they're capitalizing on that and turning it over into explosive plays on offense.
So now the ball is spotted at the Farmington 36-yard line. I believe it's the first time that Orem's in Farmington territory. Bringing Yongi in motion. He's going to take the ball on the outside. He's going to cut back in, and he'll be thrown down at about the 36-yard line. They're going to mark him, it looks like, at the 35.
Nice tackling once again by Farmington. First opportunity to get a tackle, clean it up. You got to bring him down. And Yongi's shifty because he is a tough back to bring down. He's got that kind of low center of gravity a bit, and he can be difficult to bring down. So nice move by Farmington's defense.
So 2nd and 9, they give him a gain of 1. 1 back to the right of Kava, and that was Zach Graver. And it looks like we've got a false start. Again, a really young offensive line. It's just something you got to work through.
So talented. I mean, that's the second false start tonight. But, yeah, you bring up the youth. 2 freshman offensive tackles in Maui Tonada and Noah Seofele. They have huge upsides. And to be freshmen playing at this level speaks to their talent. I mean, the last time an Orem offensive lineman was a freshman starting, that was the guy who's currently protecting the blind side for Patrick Mahomes. That's Kingsley Somatia.
Yep, former BYU and Oregon offensive lineman. Here's Kava. He'll find Kawe Akana at about the 35-yard line, so a gain of about 5. Getting the yards back from that false start penalty. So that'll bring up 3rd down. And they're actually going to give him 6, so now they're spotting the ball at the 34-yard line.
Kawe Akana is he's rangy, he's wiry. You can throw it in so many different angles. He's got a catch radius that's so unique because of his athleticism.
So here we go, big 3rd down here for Orem as the press box shakes from the student section here at Farmington. Here's Kava. He's going to run it himself to the 30. Now down to the 25, and he's going to get the 1st down. Big run right there. Smart run. there from Taden Kava.
Yeah, Taden Kava, and I thought that was an underrated move again. You're running out of bounds because he is someone that's a physical quarterback. He invites some contact. We've seen at times in the first 2 weeks of the season where he'll take on a defender but gets out of bounds, picks up the first down, nice run. He is a good talent. I mean, you watch him, he's got great intangibles as a quarterback. He's going to be a good one for Orem.
Beckham Curtis is to the left of Kava. He'll bring Iongi in motion. Now he'll roll out to his left. He'll fire. Overthrows his intended receiver. That was number 3, Mac Ellison. And that'll bring up second down.
Tad late to Ellison. He probably should have hit him a little bit earlier. But, it was there. Just got to complete that ball a little bit high for the outstretched hands of Ellison coming at 6 feet 175.
Mitch, is Kava being looked at right now by colleges?
He is, and BYU is looking at him. He's got a lot of schools currently look at him. Boston College, Hawaii, Oregon as well.
Ooh.
He's going to be a highly sought after prospect.
Here he is in the gun. He's fired a tip, but Kawe Akana drops it, so they just call it as an incomplete pass. That'll bring up third down.
Fortunate for Orem that was just a little bit forward. At first glance, from our vantage point, I thought it might have been a little bit behind, but it was a forward pass, and Kawe Akana, incomplete. It probably works out. Stop the clock, regroup, settle in, but still just a little bit disjointed tonight for Orem. That's kind of been a theme thus far in all 3 phases of the game.
So it's third down and 10, ball at the 25-yard line in Farmington territory. Split backs, Iongi and Beckham Curtis to the left and right of Taden Kava. He'll play action. He'll drop back, and he's going to be brought down. Oh, he might be getting out of it. Now about 4 Farmington players take him down for a sack and brings up a big stop here, potentially forcing Orem to kick a field goal.
Maxwell Racker and Carter Tingy coming in with the pursuit initially, and then the rest of the defense, it felt like, finished the job. But Maxwell Racker has, multiple times gotten in the backfield and created pressure for Farmington. He's having a nice game tonight so far, and Farmington's defense, they've been probably the most pleasant surprise out of this whole game thus far because they are rising to the occasion against Orem.
All right, Mitch, I'm going to try doing this on air math for a field goal, but it doesn't matter because that was shanked wide left. I was going to say that was a 51-yard field goal.
Yeah, it was a 51-yard attempt. That's a lengthy, and that's where the sack was key because it put him in a long field goal spot. I mean, do you want to go for it on that fourth down? I mean, you probably would have liked a chance with the Orem offense and the playmakers they have instead of that 51-yard attempt in retrospect. But nice work by the Farmington Phoenix to get a key sack, an explosive play on defense, and now they're taking over.
So here we go, taking over at their own 34-yard line.
Right.
Oh, they're actually at their own 20. That's odd. Maybe the rules have changed, but that would be Lucas Peterson, who's tackled in the backfield.
A.J. Snow, again, he's a player to keep an eye on for Orem. Number 10 for the Tigers. Like his ability as a senior, 6'2", 215, got good size. He's someone that you wonder if he could be, maybe FCS, maybe, PWO type player. He's a good athlete, and I think he's going to put up some good numbers this season for the Tigers.
So now it brings up 2nd and 11. So they lost 1 yard on that run. Will Peterson drops back. He'll fire it over. Completed. Oh, they say it was incomplete. That was intended for number 18, Kava Fiafia, who's the brother of Afu.
And he's a 9th grader, and he's a young kid, and he's going to be a good one for Farmington in years to come. He's already, a playmaker for Farmington. And, anytime you're a ninth grader, you're making impacts on varsity teams. That means there's a big future view of those type of players. So he's going to be one to keep an eye on for years to come, Kava Fiafio.
3rd down and 11. Bringing hoops in motion once again. Peterson takes the snap, drops back. He'll fire, connect to number 81, and he's going to get, is he close to the first down marker? It looks like he is. That's number 81, Cooper Lopez, and that will be a first down.
Nice work by Will Peterson to stay in the pocket. Mickelson was coming in with the blitz, and he just stays in the pocket and completes the pass. And, Cooper Lopez comes up with the grab, and that's a deflating moment a little bit for the Orem defense. They had him backed up, and Farmington moves the sticks and picks up an important first down when it comes also to the field position battle.
5:33 to go here, or 5:23 to go here in the second quarter, and breakaway is Travis Hoops. He gets to the 30, to the 20. No one's going to catch him, and that's a touchdown. Travis Hoops, right on schedule, Mitch. You were saying they needed to get him involved and get a big play out of him. They got just that for 6.
He's a team captain. He's a dynamite athlete. They use him in so many different ways in this Farmington program. He is a leader of Farmington, and the big playmaking ability from Farmington this season has been courtesy of Travis Hoops, and he delivers once again. Massive play as the Phoenix continue to build their lead.
What a turn of events here, as the PAT is good. And now with 5:13 to go, it's 19 for Farmington, nothing for Orem. Mitch, I gotta say, for those tuning in are probably a little shocked, just like we are.
I don't think anyone saw 19-0 in favor of Farmington. If you would have thought it was 19-0, you would have thought it was probably going to be Orem that was going to be up. But, Farmington, from the moment this game kicked off, they've had success, and they've just continued to believe and have this quiet resolve, whereas Orem is looking like they did last week, where they're stumbling out of the gates and they're down early. I'm curious to see if they have a comeback in them here, because, again, you're now on the road. Last week you were at home, so Farmington continues to play quicker too, and despite their limited size, they are playing faster than the Tigers here tonight, and it's showing as they're up now 3 possessions.
But still a lot of football left, and with an offense as talented as Orem, you can't count them out. But Farmington certainly playing with a lot of confidence.
But what gives you confidence if you're Farmington is that their defense is containing Orem. Outside of the one play on the last drive, the explosive gain over the middle, Orem has not done much to say that you're confidently going to be defeating Farmington's defense.
As the kick is off, and Akana's going to take it at his own 10. He'll get up to the 30. He can't quite reach the 30. I'd say mark him at the 28, 29-yard line.
Well, and that's, again, where Farmington, there's 3 players there at the tackle. They are playing some really inspired ball right now, and you're seeing that with this team. Like, it's a cliche, they're flying around, but they really are right now, and it's showing. And they're playing with a lot of energy in this student section below us. They are getting rowdy, they're getting hyped, and this is an energetic crowd here in Farmington.
We'll see how Orem can answer here with first down at their own 30. Kava drops back, pitch and catch over to Yongi to about the 38-yard line. Pickup of 8, so that's a pretty good pickup on first down.
You worry there. We talked about the multiple players tackling. That was a little bit extracurriculars there. You got to watch that, but Orem bringing tempo.
And they actually give him 9, so 2nd and 1. Kava gets it over almost to midfield to number 3. That's Mac Ellison. And they're gonna spot the ball. Looks like at the 49. Yep, 49-yard line.
Mac Ellison having a nice game so far. 2 grabs along with that big gain earlier.
First down, and they're going up tempo. Iongi, he'll catch it. Give him a gain of about 3 on first down.
I like the decision by Orem to bring some tempo, some pace, keep Farmington on their heels, because once they've been huddling up, Farmington's been collective, getting their breathers in. I like the decision to go tempo. They're slowing it down on this play after the short gain, but I think that was a good move to kind of keep that pace up for the Orem offense.
Something to keep in mind, Mitch. Orem's going to get the ball to start the second half. So if you could punch it in here, get the ball back and punch it in again, we got a ball game. Here's Kava. He's going to find his man, number 5. That's Kai Wesley. And he'll get down to about the 42-yard line. Gain of 6.
Kai Wesley, a name to watch, 3-star tight end. He was at the Southern Utah game last night. Utah's heavily in pursuit of Wesley. They had their whole coaching staff send him letters, the U-boy letters. But BYU, a bunch of schools, Florida State in pursuit of Wesley.
And that's saying something. Mitch, at some point tonight, we're going to have to talk about the talent in this state because I feel like it's gotten better every year. Here's Kava. He's going to throw it out to Kana. Kana, he'll get to the 35 and down. They'll mark him at the 34, gain of 4.
Nice completion. I mean, we continue to see Coway Akana just continue to rack up the gains. We haven't seen the big one yet, but, there was that one shot earlier that was an attempt, but he continues to pile up the receptions. He is a frequent target for this Orem offense.
So 1st and 10 at their own, or at the 34-yard line in Farmington territory. 3 minutes to go till halftime. Iongi in motion. Kava, he'll step back. He'll throw it over to Akana on a screenplay. He's now going to go down to the 25, and he's upended. And they're going to mark him down at about the 23-yard line, which will be a gain of 11.
That play call is like a bread and butter. I had flashbacks of the days of Puka Nakua. Like that was just bread and butter.
There was a lot of those plays.
That's Puka even in the NFL with the Rams. And during his time at BYU, just a quick hitter that can get you a chain mover and get upfield.
Puka Nakua was one of the best in state history, that's for sure. Here's Kava. He'll hand off to Iongi. They haven't ran the ball much until now. And he's probably not going to gain anything on that play, which, for what you're being able to do, at least you were able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Nice play by Kava Fiafia, who's been doing a lot on the offense, the special teams, and now on the defense with that big tackle.
So 2:27 to go. The clock's ticking. 2:10 and 10. Ball at the 23-yard line. Here's Kava. He's got Iongi with him. Now he's going to throw it out to Akana. Coway Akana. He's going to get down to the 10, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 9. And did I see a flag out on the field? I thought I did, but out of the corner of my eye, but I didn't. So the clock's still running. Or now he's out of bounds. So first down. 2:11 to go. And ball's at the 8-yard line, so 1st and goal.
Akana is the type of player, too. You can play him at receiver, kicker, nickel, linebacker. That kid can do it all.
Can probably throw the ball, too.
He's a big-time talent.
Here's Kava. He's going to pitch it on the option to Iongi. He's going to go to the outside, and they're going to throw a flag. That's a touchdown for Orem, but I think it's going to come back. Because right as he went onto the outside, that was when the flag went.
Yes.
And that's 90% of the time that's holding on the offense.
Yeah, where they threw that flag. Yeah.
And that is a big penalty.
It is, and it negates a touchdown and takes away some of the momentum that you've built on this drive, because this has been a nice drive. The pace, the up-tempo play calling, you've really liked what you've seen from Orem in this kind of complex offense that they have. They're executing at a high level, but you can't have those mistakes that put you now in a 1st and 18 and goal.
It's 1st and goal still, but it's at the 18 instead of the 8. And now here's Akana back down to the 15, now to the 10. He gets around the corner, and they'll probably say the 9-yard line. Oh, let's see where the referee spots it. It looks like the 8-yard line.
It was interesting coming into tonight. Akana, he was averaging about 22 yards per catch coming into to this game. Tonight it's been a little more modest. It's just been kind of the quick hitters as he goes off to the sideline to get a breather.
So back to the original, prior to the penalty, they're back to the original line of scrimmage. So 2nd and goal at the 8. They're going to throw it to, I think that was Iongi. No, that was not. That was Takai Wesley, the tight end you were talking about.
6'8", 210. Wesley is a big-bodied receiver.
He doesn't look like he's 6'8", though.
The production's been a little light thus far. Only 3 catches coming into tonight. 2 tonight. It's going to grow, but it's kind of a potential base projection. His body exudes kind of a power forward talent.
All right, it's 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line. A big play right here, Mitch. Here's Kava in the gun, play action, and he's going to run it. Oh, he was going to run it himself. Now he throws it, overthrows Mac Ellison, incomplete with 49 seconds to go, and it's 4th down.
That decision, you just got to own it. If you're going to run, you got to take off and run. I think there was a little bit of confusion. It caught the Orem wide receivers off guard because they, like us, thought he was going to run.
Yep.
And you got to own it. When you're taking off like that, take off. And I think that indecisiveness then suddenly released that ball, kind of created that confusion. And
especially
now you're
doing it on the run.
Set up with now a 4th and 5, or 4th and goal, excuse me.
So 49 seconds left, and Orem's going to go for it. What do you have to lose, right?
Oh, I absolutely agree with this. Go for it, get the momentum on your side, and Farmington probably going to call the timeout here.
Yeah, they are going to call a timeout. And we're going to go ahead and take it with them. With 49 seconds to go, we'll be right back for the rest of the first half here on the Rewind Sports Network. 49 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Trevor Allen, Mitch Harper here with you. 19-0, Farmington with the lead. It's 4th and goal at the 5-yard line for the Orem Tigers. It looks like they're going to kick it.
I like the original decision to go for it.
I did too. It's like, what do you have to lose, you know? But it would still bring it to a 2-possession ball game if they're able to hit the field goal. So Kawe Akana is up. The kick is good. So a chip shot field goal with 45 seconds to go. Orem strikes their first points of the game, Mitch.
Yeah, 22-yard field goal gets them on the board. And I understand get some points, get a little bit, but like we talked about earlier where Farmington was held to a field goal, that was a win for Orem's defense. That felt like a win for Farmington's defense because that was a good drive from Orem's offense. The up-tempo attack, I thought was a good move by the Orem coaching staff to change it up. But to hold into a field goal, maintain a 2-possession lead, 16 points, I think you're taking that if you're Farmington.
So 45 seconds to go. Farmington got the ball to start the game, so that means Orem will get it to start the second half. But we'll see how aggressive Daniel Coates is here in the last 45 seconds of the first half. Mitch, if you're coaching Farmington, you see 45 seconds on the clock. Are you kind of being aggressive, getting shots down the field, or are you just running out the clock?
I'll go one play and see if I can get some yards, but if it's a no gain or short gain, I'm then taking it in, getting out and going to the halftime locker room to get ready for the second half.
Akana to kick off. And he'll go back into the end zone, and they'll let it go for a touchback. So ball will be at the 20-yard line. So we'll see how former BYU great Daniel Coates, how aggressive he is. And by the way, another former Cougar on the other side, Lance Reynolds.
I believe it was 21 years ago tonight where Dan Coates made his debut as a BYU freshman tight end. He had I believe it was a 2-touchdown night against Georgia Tech. He was doing a little dance in the end zone. Coach Coates has come a long way. He's in his 7th year here at Farmington. He has been the only coach of this program. He's the foundation of Farmington football, and he's putting together a great coaching job tonight.
I'm just blown away that you know all of this. This is crazy.
It's what I do, Trevor.
Yeah, and you do it very well. And a man in motion. Here's Peterson. He'll hand off to Hoops. Hoops is grabbed in the back. It could have almost been a horse collar, but it looks like he's just going to run out the clock and get to the locker room.
And now if I'm Farmington, I just run it out because this can only be danger zone. You fumble the ball, you just take a knee. Just go into the locker room and get ready for the second half.
They don't even have to take a snap now.
Just let it run. I'd go into the halftime locker room because the game clock is less than the play clock now.
As we go down to 12, 11, 10, I'm going to guess that they're going to call halftime on this. Coaches are already taking off their headsets. And by the way, that last run was a no gain, in case you were wondering out there. So at the end of the first half, Farmington with a 19-3 lead over Orem. Mitch, thoughts as we go into the half of what you saw in this first half?
The playmakers, the leaders of Farmington are showing up big tonight. And that's what's creating this opportunity. When you're an underdog, you need to have star players emerge and come up big. I thought Will Peterson, the quarterback, junior signal caller, he's been playing very well at a high level. There's still room to grow. I don't think he goes into halftime saying he's played perfect, but he's making decisive moves that's putting this Farmington offense in a position to have success. And then you've got the playmaking ability of Travis Hoops at running back. Farmington is getting big plays from their stars, and that's giving them the confidence that, hey, we can get this done.
All right, so at the half, Farmington with a 19-3 lead over the Orem Tigers. We'll go ahead and take a break during halftime. Be back for the start of the third quarter in 15 minutes. Welcome back to Farmington High School. At the half, Farmington leads 19-3 over the Orem Tigers. Trevor Allen, Mitch Harper here with you. Really shocking first half, Mitch, to say the least. I mean, again, on paper, it would favor Orem, but that's why you play the game. So at the half, if you're the coach for both teams, what would you say to them?
If you're Dan Coates at Farmington, you stay in the moment, guys, because each play, do not overextend yourself, but still be on the attack. Stay in the moment and stay on the attack. For Orem and Lance Reynolds, you guys got to dig deep, and you got to be this tone setter. This drive, the first 5 or so minutes of this game are critical. They know they can come back. They've done it before against American Fork, but set the tone in the third quarter. That's got to be the message from Lance Reynolds and his team, because that first half was sluggish in all three phases outside of a few moments for Orem, whereas Farmington, they're playing a really good ball game. And what's crazy, Trevor, is they're up 19-3. I think they still left some opportunities on the board. Farmington's outplaying Orem tonight in all three phases, so let's see how it goes in the second half.
So for those of you who are just tuning in here in the second half and seeing the scoreboard like, oh, that's got to be a typo. No, the way we got here was a drive, a touchdown on the first drive of the game to Afu Fia for Farmington, and then they ended up getting a safety, which then put them to 9, and then they ended up getting a field goal, which then put them to 12, and then they ended up getting a touchdown. Travis Hoops ran, I think it was like a 50-something yard touchdown run to put them up to 19, and then Orem ended up getting a field goal really late in the first half.
It's been a jam-packed, action-packed game tonight between Farmington and Orem, and I'm excited for this second half.
And we are underway now. Orem will get possession as we start here in the third quarter. And it's not Callaway Akana, it's Beckham Curtis. He's going to take it to the 25 and out to the 30. Good return there from Beckham Curtis.
Really good return from Beckham Curtis, and he fends off one defender, gets some extra yards. That's a great start for Orem, but there is some laundry on the field.
Looks like holding on Orem, so it won't quite go to the 30. It'll go to the 20.
And that's big, because again, you want to play clean. And, coming into this game, Orem had a goal of playing a complete 60 minutes. Now you got to play a complete, 48 minutes or for complete 24 for the second half. So this team has just kind of had some moments where they've had costly mistakes, and that's a big one. And it's going to move them farther back than the 20. It's moving them back now to the 18. So,
oh boy,
got a lot of yardage to go to get more points on the board.
Orem coming off of a big win over American Fork, come from behind. They're going to have to do it again here if they want to pick up a win here in Farmington. Here's Kava. He's going to hand it off, and it looks like he got it to, that is number 9. That's Oliver Bills, the backup running back. And he picks up 3 yards.
Good pursuit again by Farmington, and they're not letting the halftime lull take away their energy. That's a good tone-setting play that they're flying around once again to get a nice stop.
And then Farmington's coming in with an 0-2 record, coming off of a tough loss to Roy at home, 38-14 in week 1. And then last week it was a heartbreaker to Bountiful 17-12 in our Game Night Live Game of the Week. Here's Kava in double coverage, tries to get it to Bills. Incomplete. I don't know if I would have thrown that ball, Mitch.
Great coverage by Farmington's Carter Tingey. He's been an underrated player tonight for the Phoenix. Great coverage, and that was a forced throw by Tagava, and not the greatest decision. I know you got the playmakers all around you that can make any sort of catch, but forced it a little bit. Great play by Carter Tingey.
3rd and 6, ball at the 22-yard line. Big play right here for Orem. Kava alone in the backfield. He'll drop back. He'll throw it out to Kai Wesley. He'll get to about the 30-yard line, and that'll be good for a first down.
Yeah, Wesley coming up big. 3rd grab of the night for him. He matches his season total, and he's going to be a good one. One of the better tight ends out west. Rising prospect in the 2026 class, number 31 in the 24/7 Sports composite ratings.
Visited Utah last night in their 49-0 win over Southern Utah. Here's Iongi on the run. He'll pick up about 5 yards. A good chunk play right there to get half of the first down.
That's classic Iongi right there, where he's not getting sped up and he gets just a good gain on a first down. You put yourself in second and manageable, you're going to be in a good spot where this Orem offense can be more aggressive. They haven't had that often tonight. They've been in a lot of second and behind the sticks. That was where you won the distance and won the yardage on that down.
2nd and 4. So they actually gave him 6. And he fakes the pitch, and then he picks up the first down himself. That's Taden Kava, the junior quarterback for Orem. And something, Mitch, that Coach Reynolds was telling us before the game, Iongi's not a big kid. Like, he doesn't look very big.
Yeah.
But he loves the physicality.
He does, and I like that move by Kava. That fake pitch, nice play, good decision to get upfield and get a first down.
Ball at their own 41, 1st and 10. Kava will find his guy, Kawe Akana, and he'll get to about the 49-yard line. Pickup of 8.
That was a laser by Kaawa, and tight spiral, great throw. I mean, that was just one of those moments, again, where that relationship with Akana, he knows where to be. They are so in sync where they almost just know each other's moves, and quick strike, great ball with a lot of velocity behind it.
It looks like Orem's coming out with a little momentum, like Coach Reynolds had something to say to them at halftime. Hand off to Iongi, something that they haven't done much tonight. He's going to break a couple of tackles, and he'll get to about the 42-yard line in Farmington, the 47-yard line in Farmington territory.
This is an interesting spot now for Farmington because Orem, you can sense they're gaining some confidence. They got that in the second quarter when they went a little bit tempo. Farmington defense played great tonight, but this is an Orem team that knows they can come back. Let's see how Farmington responds here.
Split backs for Kaava. He'll hand off to Iongi. He'll get to the 40. He's breaking another tackle. He'll slide back to his right, and he'll get down. They're going to mark him at about the 33-yard line, and that's going to be a 13-yard gain and a first down.
Iongi is getting better over the course of the game, and that's one of the strengths of his talent. 3 touchdowns a week ago against American Fork, and he started to pick up steam in that game in the second half. You're seeing it once again here against the Phoenix defense.
So another fresh set of downs here for the Tigers. Kava, he'll play action. He'll now flush out to his left, trying to throw it. He's going to chuck it. That one looked like a duck up in the air, and it goes incomplete. The intended receiver, Kai Wesley.
I love Jet Salmon for Farmington, number 21, the will linebacker. He's a playmaker. He gets up. He showed a little bit of his vertical jumping up there and getting in the passing lane of Kaava. And Kaava just kind of threw kind of a blind ball there. He just threw it up in the sky.
He just threw up a duck.
It was a little bit of a punt, it felt like. So Jet Selman again. He's been big tonight once again for Farmington.
2nd and 10 at the Farmington 33. Kava, he'll hand off. That looks like that's Bills, and it is. He's going to go past Afufia, and he'll get to about the 21-yard line. And they're going to spot it. They are going to spot it at the 20. A fresh set of downs coming up. Move the chains.
Oliver Bills has had an underrated impact in tonight's game where his playmaking has been chain movers, and that's what you need. 5'11", 178. He's having a nice game thus far for Orem.
Yeah, Bills also had a really big catch in that second quarter when they were driving down late in that second quarter. Here's Iongi, but he keeps it instead. Kava, the quarterback keeper, he'll gain 1 yard. And it'll be 2nd and 9 coming up with 8 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
You know, Kava is number 25 quarterback in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings, number 8 recruit in Utah in 2026, 6'4", 190. You know, he is a tough quarterback. He likes to run and invite that contact, and, you know, he might break one tonight.
He'll hand off to Iongi, and again, he loves the physicality. He loves going right up the middle of that line of scrimmage, and he's met by a lot of Farmington players.
Jet Selman again. He, in that will linebacker spot in this Farmington defense, he is one of the key cogs for Farmington, and he not, I wouldn't say reckless, but he's got great instincts for a linebacker, and that's what you want when you're at that will linebacker spot. You got to be a playmaker that can, you know, cover a safety, get up in the box and make a big tackle. That's Jet Selman tonight.
3rd and 9. And it's caught. And that's going to be a first down. Kauai Akana, they're going to mark him down at the 6. Or at the 7, excuse me. That's going to be a gain of 12. Big time play right there on 3rd down.
Kauai Akana, to describe his talent, he's in the class of 2026, and they're in the red zone. He's one of only 5 players already selected the Polynesian Bowl, and his offer sheet is going to continue to grow. He's going to be one of the best receivers out west.
So 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Iongi's going to go in, but now he's going to cut back out. He was going into the pile. He's going to run into the end zone for a touchdown. Foleti Iongi for 6. Cut, go straight up the middle. He's like, no, I don't like it. I'm going out to the outside. And he now gets the first touchdown of the game for the Orem Tigers.
He's a touchdown machine for Orem. Came into the season this game with 4 touchdowns. He gets his 5th of the year. A playmaker who just wears down the opposition. That was an impressive drive from Orem. The halftime adjustments, clearly this offense settling in, back-to-back drives where they're getting points. Orem settling in now.
Kauai Akana for the point after. It is good. So just like that, it's now 19 to 10 in favor of the Phoenix. Now, Mitch, the question is, how does Farmington answer?
They got to be on attack, and they got to get it to their playmakers once again. And, you know, the good thing is that for Farmington is they still got a 2-possession lead. But you just get a little worried now that Orem has sustained success in 2 consecutive drives. This is a critical drive for Farmington to move downfield. And I don't think get a field goal. They got to get a touchdown. They got to be on the attack. They got to be aggressive. They can't be conservative in this spot. If you're going to be an underdog, you don't go conservative. You got to stay on attack. Coach Dan Coates, I think he's going to do that. And I think that you got to put quarterback Will Peterson in a spot where he can get a little RPO action, take off with his feet, but also find his playmakers like Travis Hoops for some big plays.
Something that we ought to point out, Mitch, going on also here on KSLSports.com, Corner Canyon coming off of that massive win over IMG Academy last week. They're down 28-7 in the third quarter to Lone Peak.
It feels like a night of potential upsets, but, you know, Farmington is in a spot here where they got the lead, but they got to answer right now.
And now we'll go back for a touchback, but as we were talking about at halftime between just you and me, a night of potential upsets, like big upsets, because remember, Corner Canyon, Dusty and them were saying it's probably the biggest win in the state of Utah's history for high school sports.
No question. And Corner Canyon's a top 5 team nationally, and You know, Orem here locally in the state, this is a top 10 football team this year right now. And, you know, Farmington, what a tone setter the performance this is for a gauntlet of a schedule they got coming up, or 3 straight weeks against top 10 teams. But big drive for Will Peterson in this Phoenix offense to see how they respond after some success from Orem.
Farmington isn't looking ahead, but they do play Corner Canyon next week. Here's Peterson. He'll go out to Afu Fiafia, who had the first touchdown of the night, and he'll get the first down at the 40-yard line. Gain of 20 right out of the gates for their first offensive possession of the second half.
Fiafia only had 7 catches coming into the night, but, man, he's been everywhere this evening. And, again, quick, decisive. You know what you're doing coming up to the line of scrimmage. They didn't hesitate. Good play call from the Phoenix.
Really nice. Just drop back, throw it right there, right on the money. Great play from Will Peterson, who's been very good tonight. He's got it in the pistol. He's going to hand off to Hoops. Hoops, oh, he was going to be taken down, and now he's going back out to the outside to the 50. Now down to the 40. He's going in between tackles, and he gets down to the 30-yard line. They'll mark him at the 31. A big play from Travis Hoops once again.
Hoops looked like he was done at the line of scrimmage. He bounces back to the right. It comes up with a massive play, and the Phoenix are on the move. And again, we talked about it earlier to open up the half. The stars have got to shine in this spot. And Hoops, that is a big play to restore confidence. Like, hey, we face adversity. We're still here. We're still up by 9.
So that was a 29-yard gain for Travis Hoops, who has been big tonight. Now he'll hand off to Lucas Peterson. And he'll probably get to the 30. Yep, they'll give him a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. And it looks like
late flag coming in there.
Could get a little chippy in the trenches, Mitch. We'll see what the call is. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Orem. It's got to be something that happened while in the trenches. Probably a push or a shove down on the pile.
And Lucas Peterson, the ball carrier, number 4, he's being looked at by a trainer on the sideline. He's kind of nursing his right arm. We didn't see exactly the extracurriculars, but that's something you can't have. You had a 1-yard gain. That was it. 2nd and 9. Now it's a 1st and 10 in the red zone.
At the 15-yard line, and another. Now it looks like they're going to go back on a false start. So, in all reality, that was a 10-yard penalty as far as the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Because now they're at the 20, just right at the red zone. 1st and 15.
Farmington here, they've got to go with Travis Hoops again. I mean, he has been shining bright tonight. They got to get him the ball. He just makes special things happen. He's done it this whole entire year for a Farmington team that's looking for their first win. Trevor, get him the rock.
And it would be a big win at that if they could get it done here tonight. Here's Peterson. He's going to throw it deep in the back of the end zone. No, and it is incomplete. Great coverage right there. And that was intended for number 18, Kava Fiafia.
I love that shot, though, by Farmington. You know, you're in a 1st and long, and I like just the chance to go pick all of it up and go to the end zone. But now you're in a 2nd and 15. You got to get some yards to put this in a 3rd and manageable because, again, you don't want to settle for another field goal here. You got to punch it in and get a touchdown. Good coverage by the Orem defense.
Yeah, by Easton Finch, the senior. Now it's 2nd and 15 at the 20. Peterson back to pass. It looks like a screenplay, and it goes to Hoops once again, and a flag is down. He's probably going to get into the end zone. He gets to the 3-yard line, but I'm guessing it's going to be called back.
Yeah, it looked like that was on the Farmington offensive line. Nice play call design, but a little bit of an extra hold, and that created the opportunity for a gain, but we'll see what the flag pending here.
Yep, and the Farmington offense is going backwards. So
I run that play a lot in college football 25, Trevor.
So
I
do
do
I.
that little screen pass, and it's money. But it was, but you can't have that hold. It is critical. You can't have that, and it was costly here for the Phoenix. So, and that's noteworthy too, because if you get stopped and you don't pick up any yards, I mean, you'll be facing a lot longer field goals. So, big penalty for the Phoenix, who keep moving back after they got up to the 15-yard line.
So now it's 2nd and 20 at the 25-yard line, and I'm sure a lot of controllers would be broken if you do that screen pass and you get a holding call when you almost get in the end zone.
I play on Heisman mode, and I'm just chucking that bad boy after I get a big penalty.
Here's Peterson. Drops back again. Throws it up and deflected, it looked like. Good coverage there by number 22. That's Dylan Dye, the linebacker.
Tough decision there by Will Peterson. He didn't have much, and he kind of forced, and that was the first time really he's forced a pass. I've been impressed with Peterson's decision-making tonight. He came into the game with only a 53% completion rate, but I love the command that he's had within the offense this evening. But that one, he kind of forced it just a little bit. And again, in this spot, Farmington hasn't been here this year. Settle down, stay within yourself, get to what you've been doing to get to this position. Don't continue to force the issue.
3rd and 20 with 3:49 to go here in the third. Peterson's going to go deep. He's got a man in the end zone. It's caught, but then it's incomplete. That would have been a classic catch right there, Mitch, but it was incomplete. That was intended for, looks like that was Afu Fiafia.
Great ball, and just Fiafia couldn't come up with it, and I like the target there. They were faced with a 3rd and long. I like the shot to the end zone. Fiafia, he's just got to come up with that. The crowd thought it was a touchdown. They were going on and on thinking this was a TD, but just comes out a little bit, and now they got to settle for the field goal, and it's going to be a 42-yarder.
Look at Mitch doing math on the fly. Takes me a little bit longer to do that. Jackson Bainan up, and it just goes, but they call. See, I hate it from this vantage point because you think that it looks good, but then you have to look at the officials, and they say it was no good.
That was a low knuckler a little bit, and that was again, the penalties cost them. And, if you're talking a 32-yard field goal attempt, probably knuckles its way in, but 42 yards just a little bit too far, and Farmington comes up empty-handed on a drive that they got all the way down to the 15. So big win for the Orem defense to get off the field after they made some costly penalties on their side. So they escape, and now it's time for the Orem offense to try to get a 3rd consecutive score possession.
There's Tatum Kaava. Put his man in motion. It looks like it was going to be a screen. Now he's just going to keep it himself. He'll get to the 20, and he's just going to throw it away so he doesn't get tackled for a loss.
I like the push up front by the Phoenix defense. I've been impressed with their defensive line tonight. Maxwell Racker's been having a really good football game off the edge, setting the edge, and then, of course, the stud, Jet Salmon, again, closing it off and putting some pressure there for Orem.
So it'll be 2nd and 10, 3:36 to go here in the third quarter. Orem trying to have another second half comeback just like they did last week against American Fork. Kava, he'll hand it off to Yongi on the counter. And he'll get probably the end of 3 is what they're saying.
This is a big 3rd down, Trevor.
3rd down coming up, and Farmington came up empty-handed. All of that could go away if they could force a 4th down here.
You're already getting this clock down to 3 minutes. You get off the field here if you're Farmington. And again, in the pregame, we talked about the keys. Finishing it off. You got to finish the job here and get off the field and give your offense another crack at the ball. This is a big down right here for the Phoenix.
And the 3rd down jump, it looks like Farmington adopted it from the Muss. Here's Kaava, tries to go to Kawe Akana, and it's incomplete. Great coverage right there by Afu Fiafia.
Afu Fiafia is having a heck of a game. Best game he's had maybe since in his comeback, coming back from cancer. And I think that this has been one of the best shining moments tonight for Afu Fiafia, having an impact all around the field. He's going up against one of the best receivers in the state, and he's right there in coverage.
And now he's going to go back in punt coverage with 2:45 to go, 4th and 7, as Kawe Akana goes from not picking or not getting the catch to now punting the ball, and almost blocked by Farmington as they brought the heat. And Hoops, it goes off his helmet, and it's picked up by Orem. We had the same thing happen in the first half, except it was more towards midfield here. Earlier in the first half, that happened over in their own territory, deep in their own territory.
Akana with a punt that had a great hang time. So the entire Orem special teams coverage group was down right when the ball hit the Farmington return man, and it just goes off his lid. Live ball, Orem comes up with it. Great punt from Kali Akana, who can just do it all for this Orem team.
I'm sure he's probably able to be recruited at almost any position.
But again, Trevor, Farmington got to finish the job. They let an opportunity squandered.
Exactly. And now they're already in Farmington territory as they go to Iongi. And he'll go down to the 35-yard line, a gain of 8.
Iongi being the leader that he is, since the moment, it's like, I got to get some big yards here on first down to get a second and manageable. Nice gain of 8 up the middle, trying to wear down Farmington's defensive front.
So 2 muff punts tonight, 1 from each team. Didn't have that on the bingo card tonight, Mitch.
Did not, but special teams are critical, and Orem's had their share of blunders. They get one on their side on that moment.
Kava, he'll hand it off to Iongi once again. He'll get to the outside. He gets to the 15, down to the 10, and he's grabbed down by the ankles from Lucas Peterson. And now go down to the 10, a gain of 25 for Foleti Iongi.
Iongi, he might not be the scholarship offer sheet like some of the other guys on this Orem team, and they got a bunch of them. But Iongi is the soul of this team, puts him in the red zone. He is gaining steam as this team is just getting the momentum is starting to shift to Orem's side.
And it looks like we got a timeout. Probably a good one if Farmington's taking it, because a lot of momentum is on Orem's side, and they're not able to stop the run right now, Mitch.
Iongi was gashing that Farmington defense the past 2 plays, because that punt, muff punt, was a blown opportunity. You filled that, and you're killing this clock until you're going to the fourth quarter with a 9-point lead, most likely.
Probably going to be in Orem territory as well, because the ball was right about the 45-yard line in their own territory.
So they're facing adversity right now, and they're clearly facing it as Iongi keeps gashing on these back-to-back plays. The messaging from Dan Coates and that staff has got to continue to be on attack. I mean, they've been doing it all game, but they are clearly now a little bit of case of questioning themselves. It's showing that signs of being a winless football team. Where can they finish the job? Whereas Orem, they've been in this spot, Trevor. They know that they can come back from deficits. I mean, they rolled off 26 straight last week against a good American Fork team. They know they can get it done, and you're sensing that belief continuing to grow.
And here's Kava. He tries to get it to, I think it was Kawe Akana. It was. And I think they're going to get him for pass interference.
Looked like a PI. They were trying to blanket, but Travis Hoops looked like he was the one that got calling for a flag with the pass interference. We'll see.
So now they're going to spot the ball at the 5 because as soon as they're in the red zone, it's half the distance. So 1st and goal. Orem trying to punch it in once again. Here's Kava. He'll hand it off to Iongi. Why not? He's going to find the corner of the end zone. Touchdown for the 2nd time tonight. Foleti Iongi finds pay dirt.
Kava with a big time gather on the low snap down at his ankles. Hands it off to Iongi. Finds the end zone again. He's having a big time season. 2 touchdowns tonight. Continues to play at the MVP he is for this Orem team.
2 touchdowns in the second half for Iongi, and PA pending could make it a 2-point ball game with 1:34 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Turning out to be a great ball game, Mitch. And the kick is up, and it is good. So with 1:34 to go, Farmington 19, Orem 17. They've scored 14 unanswered points, Mitch.
It's been fascinating to see how big of an impact special teams has made on this game. And it's an often overlooked phase, and it was something that Coach Reynolds talked about a lot in our coach meetings leading up for the prep for this game. But it's playing a huge role in this contest, and Orem's had its share of struggles, as I noted, on that side of the ball, but they pounced at that opportunity and they seized the momentum and were on attack. You like the aggressiveness with Iongi just going downhill against Farmington and realizing the moment in front of them to really seize the momentum, and it's all shifted to Orem now.
For those of you wondering the score between Corner Canyon and Lone Peak, the Knights lead 28-14 in the third quarter.
Got some good ball games up and down the state here tonight, and there were a lot of them on KSLSports.com.
That's why we are your one-stop shop for high school sports, and we're also your exclusive streaming home for UHSAA championship events. As the kick goes back in the end zone, no one's been able to return hardly anything. And Farmington will take over. So Mitch, now that each team has had a possession, some have had extra possessions due to a muff punt, but what is now the message as you're in these huddles, especially as Coach Coates is down there talking to his team?
Will Peterson, I want to see him make some plays with his feet to eat up the clock, keep that clock moving, but get him out in space. He's a physical runner. I mean, he's a strong kid, 315 squat. Will Peterson can push a ton of weight, and he can pick up some big gains on the ground. I like to see him use his feet a little bit on this drive.
You probably got to get Afu Fia and Travis Hoops involved as well, right?
Absolutely.
Peterson, he'll hand off to Hoops. Finds the gap right there to the 25, and he'll get to about the 27-yard line. Gain of 7. Pretty good. Oh, they're going to call him at the 26. Pretty good chunk play right there on first down.
Yeah, that's a nice gain. You get 6 yards on first down. You're taking that every time. You're winning the down, and that's going to be winning football. And it keeps running that clock, because it's probably feeling very slow for Coach Coates in this, and that clock's like keep moving, tick 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 tick, and just keep that thing moving. And that's a nice gain on first down.
Approaching 1 minute left here in this ball game. Or excuse me, in the third quarter. We're not in the fourth quarter. Don't freak out, people. Sorry. Now he'll go out to a screen pass to number 2. That is David Shepard.
We haven't talked much about Orem DB Will Rasmussen. That's a nice play out in the open field by Rasmussen. He's going to be a good one for Orem. He's a young prospect. A little, the measurables maybe not as big time, but he's going to be a D1 athlete. Already has interest from Texas A&M. Rasmussen is one to watch. It was a nice open field tackle by him.
If you guys are wondering about any of these prospects, just follow Mitch Harper on his social media accounts. He's all over it.
I love some recruiting, and this state continues to get the best colleges flying in to pursue these prospects.
And now the handoff, I think that was to Hoops. And that was 3rd and 1. And he does get the first down. So Mitch, as we wind down here in the third quarter, I'm going to ask you a question to tease it, and then we're going to come back and answer on the other side, all right?
Let's do it.
Is this the best talent the state has had in a long time or ever across the board, across the state? Is this the deepest talent as it's been? We'll get that answer after this here on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter, 19-7, Farmington with the lead over Orem. Trevor Allen, Mitch Harper. And Mitch, the answer to my question is, so for you, is this the deepest talent the state has had ever as far as being able to recruit at the highest levels to the biggest programs in the country?
In terms of depth, yes. From 2025 to 2027 classes, there's some really good prospects. As far as the top end, I see there's been better classes when you think about Kingsley, Noah Sewell, Puka Nakua, Orem guys, but there's so much depth here in this state.
Now the handoff to Lucas Peterson here on first down at the 31.
Good to see him back out on the field. He got banged up a little bit on the last drive kind of was getting attended to with his arm. He's back out on the field, and hearing the turbulence before the fourth quarter here at Farmington, it made me think of BYU, who's in action tomorrow night. They're big on turbulence. Then Farmington was the student section below us. They're excited. There, I got their Phoenix up by 2 here in the fourth quarter against top 10 Orem.
For our Utah County offense or audience, I will ask Mitch about the BYU quarterback at some point tonight on the broadcast. But not right now. It's too close of a game. 2nd and 5. Ball at their own 36-yard line with 11:15 to go in the game. Here's Peterson. He'll hand off to the other Peterson. That's Lucas. And he'll probably get 3 yards, I'm guessing. Yeah, they're marking him down to 39. So that'll bring up 3rd and 2. A big play here if you're wanting to come out here with the win if you're Farmington.
Get the ball to Travis Hoops. He is the playmaker. You got to get that ball to him. Or Fia is one of those two guys. They've got to be touching the rock here to pick this first down up, because this is big. With 10.5 to go, you can kill even more clock if you pick up this first down. So big down, get it to your playmakers.
So here we go, 3rd and 2. Peterson alone in the backfield. He'll do a jet sweep pass to Travis Hoops. And he's he's close.
Wow.
I think he got it. Looks like he did, and he will get the first down.
Second effort by Hoops. He has done that on multiple occasions tonight. The big run where he kicks out, goes left, and kicks out to the right. His second effort has been impressive. I thought he was behind. I thought he was not going to pick it up, because there's 3 Orem defenders right there, and he moves the sticks. Big first down for the Phoenix.
That is a play I run on EA Sports College Football all the time as well.
Oh, yes, get that jet sweep pass action, and I'm moving them chains.
Quarterback gains a lot of yards on that play, and he's very efficient on it. 9:50 to go here. A fresh set of downs at the 42-yard line for Farmington. And that'll be a delay of game. Play clock went down to 0. It's not something you want after just getting a first down.
Took too long. You almost like Farmington, are they getting a little starry-eyed here? We're going, oh my gosh, we're right here in the moment to win this thing. Stay within yourself and just keep executing the way that you've been playing this whole night. It almost felt like they just forgot the play clock was there.
Well, that, and also Coach probably didn't want to use a timeout. He's only got 2 left. They used one in the 3rd quarter. Peterson, play action. He'll drop back. He'll throw a deep ball. He's got Hoops. Double coverage, and it's incomplete. Great coverage right there. Travis Hoops had to come back for it a little bit, but still really good coverage there from Orem.
It was good coverage. Hoops had the defenders beat, but the closing speed from Orem's Easton Finch, who's quietly had a nice game tonight. We've brought him up about 4 times this evening in coverage. He had the defenders beat, a little bit delayed by Peterson. Hoops had, if it was maybe been another half second, he would have probably caught that ball, but good attempt, because it was there, and that was the right read.
So now it's 2nd and 10. Probably something that a lot of teams would do is just take a shot real quick on first down. Nothing to lose except if you pick it off. But now Peterson, he'll throw a dart straight to Afu Fia, and he'll pick up about 3 yards. They're going to mark him at the 45, so that'll be 3rd and 7.
What's important about that catch is he stayed in bounds. It's not a big gain. You're still in a 3rd and long, but you kept that clock moving. Had he gone out of bounds, that would have been not ideal. But for him to stay in bounds, okay, you move on. You go into 3rd and 7, but that was important. Just keep that clock running.
So now 9 minutes to go, exactly. 19-17, Farmington with the lead. Here's Peterson, sends Hoops in motion, and play clock back down to 0. And Coach is gonna have to use a timeout.
Probably gonna want that one back. But you're down to 1 with 8:49 to go. But you've got to get this right, and you've got to make sure everyone's in the right alignment, the correct spots. Because this can get, when you're a winless football team and you haven't tasted victory. Farmington, they're on a 3-game skid dating back to last year. They haven't tasted victory since October 20th of last year. It's been a while. And you want to just make sure everyone is on the same page in this moment. And for Orem, you know, we didn't talk about at the end of the third quarter. Kawe Akana, he came in like a missile on that one stop where you thought he got the stop on third down. I wouldn't be surprised if he's coming with some pressures here on this third down here.
Probably got to dial up something here if you're Orem's defensive coordinator, who's new this year, according to Coach Reynolds. He loves the scheme he's brought to the Tigers.
They needed a shakeup after last year having a 5-7 campaign. They shook it up, and I think it's working so far. And big down here on 3rd and 7.
It's a battle of former Cougars here in Lance Reynolds, Daniel Coates. Peterson, he's got hoops, and he's got the catch. And that's a big play. Oh, excuse me, that's Afu Fia. Don't want to take anything away from him. Another great play from Afu Fia, and now puts them in Orem territory.
Decisive. The timeout was worth it by Coach Coates. They knew where to be. Decisive read by Peterson. Great route by Fia, and he tossed it. He didn't delay. He just made the play, and that was a big gain. Now they're on the move in Orem territory.
They're at the Orem 28-yard line as the Farmington student section says, we want corner. Well, Corner Canyon's down right now to Lone Peak. Now here's Hoops. He avoids one tackle and he can't get past Kawe Akana for that tackle for loss.
That's what I was talking about there. Kawe Akana, he just flies in, man. Like he's a special wide receiver, but at the next level, at Power 4, he could be a Power 4 linebacker or a nickel back. He is that versatile and that high level of a prospect, and there's been flashes of that talent on the defensive side in this second half. Big play right there, because we've seen tonight from Hoops, his escapability has been off the charts. So way to finish the job by Kawe Akana.
Now it's 2nd and 13 at the 29. Go to Afu Fia on the screen, and nothing there. They're going to lose yards once again. That's going to be probably a loss of 5.
Another nice play by Will Rasmussen, and you know, he was a guy on the 7-on-7 Pink Outlaws team. Really good athlete. He's like probably a box jumper extraordinaire in the weight room. But Rasmussen, he's got an offer from Utah, Oregon State, Texas A&M. Nice play again. He's becoming up big in the second half.
So that brings up 3rd and 14 at the 33-yard line with 6:57 to go. The clock is running. Farmington trying to pick up a team over the number 6 ranked Orem Tigers, according to the KSL Sports Rewind Top 25. Here's Peterson. He'll throw a deep ball. It's not going to go anywhere, as the intended receiver is Cooper Lopez, number 81. Incomplete, and it brings up 4th down.
You'll take that because at least it floated a bit. You didn't like that, but it was completely out of reach of everyone. So you just don't want it to be a situation where you're having a turnover. And that was when you're floating a little bit, danger can happen. So got to keep a little bit more tight like he did earlier with that pass with Fia.
It took a minute for Coach Coates to decide what he wanted to do. Now the play clock's down to 10, and looks like they're going to punt it. They're not going to kick a field goal.
I think I would have gone for it. I mean, I know it's 4th and long and 6:30, but, man, Orem's offense has just been on fire as of late. But, hey, you know, Farmington, they did get a stop before that special teams muff. They got to do it again.
And they're going to take the delay of game, which puts them back more, gives the punter more space to cough and kick it.
It's just tricky because will you get the ball back? Because 6:30 with this Orem offense with Iongi, who could kill the clock and just move the chains, it's a risky move, but I also understand it from Coach Coates' point and try to pin him deep as they've done earlier tonight.
But key also is to catch the ball. Kawe Akana. Oh, that took a very fortunate bounce for Farmington.
Great bounce.
Rather than bouncing into the end zone, it bounced the other way, and they pin it down to the 3.
It worked out masterfully for Farmington. Kawe Akana thought he was going to bait everyone and act like he was fielding it around the 5 or 6 yard line. It bounces around the 1, bounces back, and pins them deep where they're going to have to go 95 yards. Great job again by the Farmington special teams.
It bounced at the 3, but then they were able to down it at the 5. So at the 5 yard line, 1st and 10 here for the Orem Tigers. Could we see more magic here as they've scored 14 unanswered here in the second half? Here's Tatum Kava. He'll hand off. Pickup of about 2 yards. I believe that was Iongi. Can't see the number. Yeah, that's Iongi.
Nice tackle, too, by Cooper Lopez. Coming downhill full speed. Nice play there to not allow a big gain.
Clock's ticking now. 6:05 to go here in the ball game. 2nd and 9
See,
at the 6.
Orem's being patient. You know, they've been in these spots before. They know who they are offensively, so they're taking their time.
Send a man out in motion. Tries to go to Fledi Iongi, and he just could not get that screen play, and it's incomplete. So now it brings up 3rd and 9.
Little nice screen pass. It was there. Iongi just a little bit thrown to the right of him. If he threw him in stride, he's getting some yards and probably moving the chains, but it's a game of inches.
His hands just aren't that big enough yet. .548 to go. 3rd and 9. Kava throws it out, almost picked off. Great coverage there. I think that was number 84.
81.
81. Oh, that was Cooper Lopez again.
Yeah, Cooper Lopez once again in coverage, but Jet Salmon, man, we've talked about him a lot. And he was in pursuit and created the uneasiness, and then Cooper Lopez in coverage. It worked out brilliantly. I was a little bit nervous going for the punt. Coach Coates knew. He called the timeout, pinned him deep, and now they're getting the ball back.
So now Kawe Akana is pinned back in his own end zone. And Farmington brought the heat. And Travis Hoops is going to get it at about the 48-yard line.
His knee was down.
His knee was down, yeah. I was going to say, he didn't call for a fair catch.
That's a missed opportunity there because
he had some room.
He had some opportunity to gain, but really, all things considered, for Kawe Akana, back in your own end zone to get that punt to the 50, that's a good punt.
So with 5:35 to go, the clock is in Farmington's hands. With a 19-17 lead, Orem needs some stops.
Don't get conservative here, too. Again, because 5:35, keep pushing the envelope. Keep Orem on their heels, because if you just try to drain that clock, Orem's going to be opportunistic and find a way to get that ball back.
Here's Peterson once again. He's had a very solid night. Puts Cooper Lopez in motion, and it looks like, well, it's not a delay of game. The play clock was at 2.
I think they called the timeout or waved the flag.
There is a flag.
Yeah. It's Farmington's final timeout. Orem has all 3 of their timeouts. Farmington, that was their last with 5:33 to go. 1st and 10 on the Orem 48-yard line.
That probably wasn't ideal to call a timeout.
No, it wasn't, but it worked out last time to make sure. Because remember, they had called the timeout and they got a big gain with Afu Fiafia. You'd like to have a few of those in your back pocket, but you gotta call them when necessary. Because that play clock was getting down to 2.
Apologies for those who thought we were still in the 3rd quarter. I forgot to change that. But we are in the 4th quarter. 5:33 left here in the ball game. Trevor Allen, Mitch Harper here with you. Farmington has the ball, 1st and 10 at the Orem 48-yard line with a 19-17 lead. Hand off to Hoops. And he lost it. Did Orem pick it up? They're calling an Orem ball. That's a big play right there. A fumble, and it looks like it was picked up by number 22. That's Dylan Dye, the stud linebacker.
Farmington with a kind of an awkward delayed handoff to Hoops. It kind of felt like it was not right from the get-go. And then Hoops loses the ball. Orem takes over. This game has had a bit of everything, Trevor.
Almost everything you could imagine has happened. Iongi with the run, and he's going to pick up. That's a good pickup right there.
He's got a great feel for that, where give him the rock when the momentum is on their side, feed him, and he'll get you yards and keep Farmington on their heels.
Normally you would think we got to go to Kawe Akana, but if you want to chew up the clock while also getting down the field, getting yards, Faleti Iongi's been able to do that.
Down to 5 minutes.
2nd and 5, and it looks like a false start. Nope. I think they're saying neutral zone infraction. Yep, it is. Right now, Farmington's just shooting themselves in the foot.
It's unraveling a little bit for them. You know, they found answers this tonight. Curious to see now that Orem is on their side of the field, do they have that same confidence? One thing when Orem's backed up against their own end zone, it's another when their Orem is on the move.
4:50 to go. Kaava hands off to Iongi. Why not? Feed the beast. And it'll be 2nd down. Gain of 2. Bring up 2nd and 8 at the 41.
Underrated throughout the entire night has been the Farmington defensive line. They've done, all things considered, a really nice job against that huge Orem offensive front. I really thought Orem was going to have a decisive advantage in the trench. Farmington is holding their own this entire game late in the ball game.
I mean, Mitch, if you just look at the size,
No
comparison
question.
between both of them, especially that the tackles for Orem are freshmen. Play action. Kava throws it deep. He's got Akana wide open, and he's got it. Touchdown. Oh, he dropped it. But I think he picked it back up. Did he drop it? Oh, he did it. But that's a touchdown. Kawe Akana. That was a beautiful throw from Kaava. Kawe Akana, 41-yard touchdown, and the Tigers have the lead.
That's the big lifter that we've been expecting all night from Orem. You know, it's been a lot of quick hitters to Kawe Akana all night. That was the big one, and Travis Hoops was in coverage, and he just kind of slipped. He hit the ground, and Kawe Akana broke free. That's a tough moment, but that's the playmaking ability of Kawe Akana, how he can stretch the field.
Especially with his speed. And Kawe Akana kicks the field goal and now makes it a 24-19 lead in favor of Orem. Mitch, that is 21 straight points for the Orem Tigers.
It's what they did last week against American Fork, and no one expected them to be in a hole tonight, but Orem, their explosive playmaking ability, they're never out of any game. We were in the halftime break, and we knew that Orem was going to have a run. You just didn't know if they would, get over the hump, because Farmington's been playing a really good ball game tonight. But Orem has capitalized on these second half mistakes by Farmington. The blunders on special teams, the fumble on offense. Orem pounced quick and scored, and that's the difference in this ballgame. Those 14 points are really the big difference.
And just looking on the sideline right now, the defensive coordinator getting after Farmington's defensive line, who you've credited all night. They've been really good. And that'll be another touchback for Kawe Akana. Kid can do it all. With 4:03 to go, again, it's not over by any means.
No.
It's a 5-point game. 4 minutes to go. Farmington just needs to settle down.
We've seen from Farmington explosive playmaking ability. It's one thing when you're at 19 points and you've just been dink and dunk. No, they've shown the ability to get big plays. Fia, Hoops. And I'd get a touch to Hoops. After that kind of tough moment there, get him a touch to kind of right that wrong a bit. But Fia, Hoops, get them the rock. And they've shown that tonight. Let's see if they can get it done again.
Farmington's bringing out all their playmakers. They've got Travis Hoops, Lucas Peterson, Afu Fia, Cooper Lopez. Daniel Coates is going for the win here. 4:03 to go, 1st and 10 at the 20. And another penalty. And as you can see, the camera shake.
Well, I would say to the Farmington students, Your team's on offense. You simmer down on offense.
Yeah.
You kind
don't
of
wanna be too loud.
self-inflicted a false start because you got rowdy.
Yep.
You're on offense.
And that's not how you want to start a potential game-winning drive.
Orem's like, yes, please get loud,
Yeah,
get
down your
louder.
feet. And play action out to, that was a nice hit there by Akana on Travis Hoops. But it's incomplete. 2nd and 15 coming up.
I love Kawi Akana's ability on defense. I'm almost feeling like I'm coming away loving just the missile that he is on defense because he comes in with such intensity and the level of his hits, man, it's intense.
Looks like we have a sideline warning. I think it's a sideline warning on Orem. Either way, it's 2nd and 15. Peterson sends Hoops out in motion. Or excuse me, off of Fia. And he's got his man right there. Goes out of bounds. And that is Kava Fia.
The young freshman coming up big in a clutch spot with a nice grab.
Picks up 12 on that play. 13, excuse me. So that's 3rd and 2 now at the 28. 3:45 to go here in the ball game. Here's Peterson. He's got Hoops to the 40, and he'll get down to the 43-yard. They're going to mark him at the 42. So that's a 14-yard gain and a first down.
Big gainer for Hoops. I know he's had some tough moments tonight, but in the second half, but he's been so clutch this season, and keep feeding him the rock. He'll make big plays, and he did it right there.
Clock is ticking, 3:28 to go. You need a touchdown. Now here's Peterson. Drops back. Great coverage right there. It was going back to Kava Fia. Broken up there.
Love the pursuit from Make Apo, and huge size from the interior, number 50 for Orem.
That's a big boy.
He's a senior, 6'5", 340, trucking down at Will Peterson. Nice pursuit there.
That was also great coverage there by number 22. Dylan Dye, the linebacker.
Who came up with the fumble recovery.
Yep. Here's Peterson. Drops back, goes down the field. It's picked off by who else besides Kawe Akana.
Huge grab. Big-time playmakers make big plays in clutch moments. Kawe Akana has been everywhere in this fourth quarter. Offense, defense, special teams with the big punts. He is doing everything to will this Orem team to a win. Huge pick. It was right in his breadbasket. He didn't have to do much, but he was right there. Will Peterson, tough moment, throws the pick. That was his 5th of the season.
Was that more of a miscommunication with his receiver?
Will Peterson walked off the sideline, was kind of hands up, and it felt like there was a miscommunication for sure.
And that, I believe, is number 26, Beckham Curtis, with the carry, as they're just going to chew up the clock.
And your Orem, you keep it on the ground, and you let this thing run. And this is where not having those timeouts is costly for Farmington, where you had to burn those. And in the moment, it felt like it was working. But now without timeouts, Orem, you keep it on the clock. You get maybe one more first down, and we might be looking at a ball game.
2:35 to go here. No timeouts, as Mitch mentioned, for Farmington. All 3 for Orem. They have scored 21 unanswered here in the second half. And now here is Oliver Bills. And he gets a first down, and that should probably do it.
Bills has had a really nice game. Again, he moves the chains. That's his plays. Every time he touched the rock, it's a chain mover. That might be the clincher for the Tigers tonight.
As the clock now down to 2:10. They don't have to snap it until it's under 2 minutes. Kava has, I believe he has Beckham Curtis to his right. And now he sends Iongi in motion. He'll keep it, and he'll pick up near the first down marker. They're going to mark him down at the 21. It's a gain of 9. Again, if you're needing a stop right there, you can't let them get 9 yards on a first down run.
I was surprised though they snapped it in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They had a few more ticks to work with, but big gain to put you in a second and very manageable. You get 9 yards on a first down, you love that every single time.
1:28 to go now. And you would have to think that if Orem gets a first down here, that'll do it. And they're going to do the QB sneak for the first down, and that'll do it.
That's this Jalen Hurts impression with the Philadelphia Eagles. Just pushing it up front, push. And that's going to be your ball game as Orem is going to hold on. Got an injury.
We'll see who is on the field. But Mitch, as we sit less than 24 hours away, I think we're 22 hours away from kickoff for BYU and their season opener, second year in the Big 12. Quarterback controversy. As the BYU insider for KSLSports.com, your prediction, and I know you don't have any insight, but you've been to all the camps, all of that stuff. You've kind of trying to figure out, because BYU's playing it close to the vest, and I know what that's like, having covered Utah. Who's going to be the starting quarterback tomorrow night?
I think it's going to be Jake Retzlaff, the returning quarterback from last year. Started in 4 games, was 0-4 though last year. I think it's going to be Jake Retzlaff tomorrow, as we see the injured player for Farmington coming off the field, and that's, I believe, number 89, or let's see, 83. Trying to get a clear read on that.
That looks like
89, I believe.
We'll look at our camera here. That's Spanky doing a great job here on the camera. That's number 89. That's Porter Bowcut. Hopefully he's okay. You don't want to see that at any point in the game. He's also a big part of that defense for Farmington.
It's been a huge effort tonight from Farmington, and again, it's kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the game, finishing the job, and that's where Farmington is like. They gotten better again tonight, but they ultimately couldn't finish the job. There was too many opportunities even left in the first half where you left points. You had to settle for some field goals. They couldn't finish the job, but Orem, their star power, their talent, shined bright in the second half.
Kava's just going to take a knee with the 1:04 left. Mitch, I really do appreciate you taking the time. I know on the eve of the season opener, it's not ideal to call a high school football game, but I think it's been a joy.
It's been an absolute blast, and you know, the hospitality here at Farmington High School has been outstanding. Big shout out to them. We got some cool water bottles, some hydro jugs.
Yeah,
it's been a lot of.
Could have put
fun.
water in them though. I'm not going to complain about it though. They are very nice.
A lot of fun here tonight at Farmington. It's been a great football game, and it just kind of embodies the depth that's in this state, talent-wise, across the state.
And that'll be the final knee of the night. Mitch, I need your Heidemann & Associates player of the game.
Kauai Akana, how can you go wrong? He had the game-winning touchdown, the pick, the key punts, the punt that led to a muff punt from Farmington. Kauai Akana, 2026 class junior, 3-star recruit. He is big time. Remember the name. He is going to be a special football player for Orem High School.
You guys can check out Mitch Harper on his social media. You guys can also check out his work at KSLSports.com. If you're a BYU fan, you've got to check him out. No one does it better covering the Cougars other than Mitch Harper for KSLSports.com.
Nice work tonight, Trevor.
Yeah, hey, Mitch, we'll have to do this again. Maybe not before a season opener, but I know this wouldn't have worked next week because BYU is playing Friday night. But we'll definitely have to do this again. For Spanky, our cameraman, for Mitch Harper, I'm Trevor Allen, saying the final score tonight, 24-19. The Orem Tigers move to 3-0. They will take on the West Jordan Jaguars next week on the road. And Farmington, it doesn't get any easier. They take on Corner Canyon. Again, for Spanky, for Mitch, I'm Trevor. This has been the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Good night.